All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of the hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and the third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the Chase Dreams to John's Pat Dubeck to Dave's Streeter Peters. Is that his last name?
It is his last name.
Streeter. I didn't know it was Peters.
I'll take it. Ken Marino's character in the other two, one of my favorites on that show. So many great comedic actors on it. I'm a big fan of that show, and I'm so glad it is back for season 2 finally.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna break down the premiere of that. We're gonna break down a series premiere tonight in the chair. We have so much to do tonight. Coincidentally, 10 years ago, yesterday, was the first recording of Dual Redundancy, and here we are, 10 years later.
apparently not any better.
Well, I don't know.
No, it looks real, dude.
It looks good.
Really
It looks good. I don't know how the sound is, but what our opinions are after all these years. But I don't know. We got
still
a lot
baby
to do.
faced, young lads.
Yeah. All right. In those 10 years, John, I still can't remember what the hell the first segment is called. Can you just tell me?
In and out points.
In or the out. In or the out. In, out.
Yes, it's in and out points. All right. Breaking news today. We're squeezing it in because just a few hours ago, we found out some more Jeopardy news. Less than a month ago on the podcast, we discussed how Michael Richards may become the host of Jeopardy. And within 24 hours of the podcast dropping, he was. Until after one tape day, he wasn't. And then today, as of today, he has been fired by Sony as the executive producer of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. I said Michael Richards. Technically, it's Mike Richards. It's not Kramer from Seinfeld. It's Mike Richards here. But what do you think about this news, Kyle? It just dropped a little bit ago. He's out as EP.
Maybe he should just pull a George Costanza and come back in over the weekend.
Maybe.
But no, I mean, I think you said this best in kind of a group chat, but he flew too close to the sun. And I talked about this with you, Dave. Is like, he could have been just anybody would have been fine. EP of the longest running game show of all time. And this guy was like, no, I want to be host. And then, as you get up there in fame, more people start looking into your background, and God knows he said something stupid because of course.
He could have had the easiest job.
Yeah.
I mean, these
making millions.
These two shows have been on for so long, and they're going to outlive him.
I know.
All he has to do is show up.
Shut up.
What have we done for 30 years? Want to do the same exact thing today? Okay. But thankfully about this whole thing, I mean, because the issue is, okay, well, he's not fit to be host. Well, then how is he fit to run the show? How is he fit to be the executive producer in charge of the show if he's not fit to host the show? And this is an issue that Sony had. They're trying to have it both ways. And it's like, if he's not qualified for one, he's not qualified for the other, because at the end of the day, the crew still has the same issues with him. Now that he's the producer, now they have to work with him. And then the new host will know the entire time that he wants their job. So
Yeah.
It was never going to work. I don't even know why they even thought it was going to work. And I mean, if he didn't say anything, if he didn't become the host, if he didn't, become Icarus here, he could have had this job for a very long time. Thankfully, though, I think there's a blessing in disguise with this, where it's like, well, now we've removed this negative force from this environment, so the crew doesn't have to deal with this anymore. Because if this didn't happen, this could have been years of, abuse behind the scenes, and we just wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
John, are you going to put your hat into the ring for Jeopardy host now?
I already submitted my tape.
Are you submitting your tape?
Yeah.
The Dual Redundancy clip show of all your greatest moments on the pod?
Yeah. Every single time I said in and out points. Just all 360 of them, whatever.
What is in and out points? But yeah, there's not too much to say with this that we've already said before. We've talked about so much on the podcast, and this thing is like every week there's a new story. Who knows? I mean, right now, Mayim Bialik is going to be like kind of the interim host of the syndicated version, even though she already is for the primetime specials. That was already part of her job. She's doing this now. And as I said, they taped one day with Mike Richards, which is a week of shows. So for this first week that's going to come out in a few weeks, it's going to be Mike Richards because they have to show it because it's a game show. There's the champions. It leads into the next one.
Yeah.
You can't skip over it. So it's going to be this awkward first week where he's the host of the show and then he's gone.
You should just put a big old censor bar over his head.
Just CGI him out.
Yeah, just I mean, most shots are A/B anyway, right? Just cut somebody else in.
Yeah,
dude. We said Jeopardy's gonna outlive Mike Richards. Can you imagine when they come out with hologram Alex Trebek in like 2068?
Full circle.
yeah, it's definitely possible. All right. Well, our next in and out point tonight involves TV Guide and their list of the 100 best TV shows on TV right now. I did a quick search. I don't think Jeopardy's on that list, but we're going to discuss these rankings, specifically the top 10 on their list, on the TV Guide list of the 100 best TV shows on TV right now.
So
Top
hang
10.
on.
Oh, okay.
You wanted to start with 10.
Yeah.
I wanted to start with 100,
Yeah.
where they have the Masked Singer, and that's the start of the list. And I go, oh God, here we go.
Yeah. The
There's
Masked
some
Singer made the
weird
top
choices.
100. There is very weird choices on this list. Yeah. And I start wondering, like, are you guys struggling to find 100 that are on TV right now? Because as not only you said 100, number 97 on the list was 48 Hours. It's like, really, 48 hours? Like the CBS show. Like, what's next? Oh, number 47 is actually 60 minutes. You know, it's like, okay.
The stuff that you fall asleep to at night, you know.
The top 50, you'd still have like shows that are kind of like in there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's some interesting picks, that's for sure. And we'll go through where our favorites landed and stuff like that. But the top 10 include from 10 to 1, Hacks, The Underground Railroad, How To with John Wilson, Pose, The Boys, The Good Fight, Search Party, Pen 15, Ted Lasso, and number 1, Evil. All right, Kyle, thoughts, that top 10 list?
It's okay. I mean, Ted Lasso should for sure be on there. The Boys should for sure be on there. But I don't know. It's really hit or miss with the others. I've never even seen Evil. I was actually surprised to see a Paramount Plus show at number 1.
There's 2 in the top 10.
I know. I couldn't believe it. But I was hoping for like Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, that has to be in the top 10 for me. I saw it at 26 and I'm like,
Really?
he can't be this low. That's impossible. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's some very strange choices with this. I've seen a couple of the Underground Railroad. This is like almost beyond TV. It's like a movie. It's like, it's beautiful. It's the aesthetics, the music, the acting. John Wilson, I have a soft spot for that. That's a fun pick for me. The Boys, okay. Pen 15, like it. Ted Lasso, like it. But yeah, it's like evil. And they went all in on Paramount Plus here. 2 shows in the top 10, Good Fight and Evil. Both are Robert and Michelle King shows. They're the creators of it, so that's very interesting too. The same creators. And for the hell of it, I looked at last year's list. Last year, Better Call Saul took number 1 on the list. Okay, well deserved. But Good Fight was number 10 and Evil was number 4. So I don't know if the TV Guide is like really all in on Evil. Maybe we gotta watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
have you?
I know you have Paramount Plus, right? Have you seen Evil?
I'll tell you what I watch on Paramount Plus. Survivor, Big Brother. That's actually, I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Detroiters just to have it on. It was a Comedy Central show with Tim Robinson, Sam Richardson. But like, I'm rewatching Survivor, and I got the Big Brother live feeds a part of it. That's it. I'm not watching anything else on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
but I guess there's good stuff on there. I guess I got to watch it.
Yeah, I'm like, I know why. So Euphoria is on the top 100, right?
Yeah.
But it really hasn't been on except
No.
for those specials. But does that count? And so in my mind, Succession should be on this
Yeah.
list too, even though it hasn't come out in a year.
Perfect transition to my point about this methodology here, because I'm really questioning it. People questioned when we did our best TV character currently on TV bracket. Same thing here. And this is what they said. This is a list of the best 100 shows right now, meaning eligible series had to be ongoing on their final episodes, had to have aired recently. Any ongoing series was eligible as long as it aired at least one new episode in the past year, while canceled or limited series were eligible if they had aired at least one new episode in the past 3 months. So that means deserving limited series like WandaVision were ineligible under these rules. But like, what is this? So it's like it's within the last year, but if it was a mini series, it had to be in the past 3 months. That's why WandaVision's off the list. But then Mayor of Easttown is a limited series. That's on the list.
White Lotus I saw on the list.
Yeah, White Lotus on the list. The Euphoria
Loki.
that you brought up. Those were they had those 2 specials, but the last episode aired in 2019.
Yeah.
Of the show proper, just like Succession aired in 2019.
Yeah.
And at least Succession is coming back in October, which makes me say, why didn't we wait till like the end of the year? Because like a show like What We Do in the Shadows, American Crime Story impeachment.
Yeah.
John's favorite Dexter is coming in November. That's going to be in the top 10 for sure. So it's just like, well, this is like August. Like it's right before all the new shows from September. It's a weird time. It's a weird
maybe
time.
That's why they do it, because I don't know. It's like right before the start of the season. It's almost like the start of the season. So they're recap. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just so many like new stuff coming out between the ones I mentioned. Why the Last Man, Scenes from a Marriage, The Premise, Foundation. All these shows are like coming out in the next month or two that are going to be well talked about. Probably Emmy favorites. Nope. We're gonna do this in the dog days of August. And yeah, I don't know. I mean,
it leads to some crazy choices, that's for sure. Because I mean, this list is all over the place. But I would assume, I mean, you know, I don't know. Because if there's so many shows out there, how can you limit it to like, you know, why not for shows that are coming back, like Succession, all those? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's technically on.
Yeah, it's gonna be on.
It's gonna be on in like a week or two. It's like it's on. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't on in the last 3 months if it was a limited series, but if it was on in the last year, which made it... Okay, you have your own methodology, we'll have ours.
Yeah,
because it's like I'll go through some of the lists, and there's some that's like it's hard to compare shows nowadays, apples and oranges, but Fargo being just ahead of Saved by the Bell and Cobra Kai at 43.
Yeah,
they're not comparable shows.
Yeah,
they're not
at all. That's like they had a Disney Junior show on there, and I was like, what? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. How did Hacks get to be number 10? Did that show take a 180?
People really love that Hacks, and I gotta get back to it because it got all those Emmy nominations, and we'll talk about Emmys next week. I will say there's this Ted Lasso discourse going on Twitter right now. I don't know if you've been seeing it, but there's a lot of people that may affect the Ted Lasso nominations and the wins coming up. A lot of people aren't happy with that season, and maybe that's going to help Hacks. I don't know. We'll discuss it next week, but yeah, it wasn't for me when I saw those initial first 2 episodes, but
I did enjoy Hacks in the long run. When I finished it, I didn't think it was like crazy good, but I did enjoy it. But to me, Hacks and Made for Love are very similar in style and nature. And Made for Love is like 50 something on this list or something like that. And I'm like, Hacks and Made for Love are very similar in my mind. They came out around the same time. And I mean, it's like both comedic in nature. And it just, in my mind, they're equal on footing when it comes to the enjoyability and whatnot. So I don't know. I can't see the disparity in the ranking to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna name a few shows that I saw, just their numbers. See if you guys have any ones that jumped out to you. Some shows that we've talked about, like White Lotus was number 13. I Think You Should Leave, 16. And as you mentioned, Dave at 26. Those are some of my shows I liked. Hey, at least they're in the top quarter, really. Anything that stand out to you guys, John, Kyle? Anything else on the list?
I think just the amount of Paramount Plus love. There was quite a few on the list. I didn't even know that, and just the sheer amount of content there is. There were shows on there I'd never even heard of before. And I didn't know that OWN was like making original content like this. So yeah, it's interesting. A lot of stuff. I don't know how everyone watches it all.
Yeah, I don't know either. There was one thing I think we all saw this weekend on Twitter. It was the talk of the town, maybe for all the wrong reasons. James Corden, a Twitter user, uploaded a clip of him and his Cinderella co-stars performing a segment of Crosswalk the Musical for his late night show. It was viewed well over 17 million times, and it shows Corden dressed as a rat, thrusting his groin at a car while singing the chorus to Jennifer Lopez's "Let's Get Loud." Kyle, you want to start with this one?
If you were not of this earth, that has to be one of the most ridiculous things that you could come across. Like, if you didn't know any of these people, this would just be wild.
Yeah,
why?
I'm at all. Because first of all, I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar with this reboot of Cinderella. Is Jennifer Lopez's "Let's Get Loud" in Cinderella? What's the context? Like, I don't understand why we're doing this song from Cinderella.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
yeah,
James
that
Corden,
doesn't make sense. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Let's see, who else is in it? Billy Porter. Was it? Yeah, there's a whole new Cinderella coming out, and it's working. I guess the promotional push. It's working here. John, if you were driving along on the road and you saw James Corden thrust his groin at you, what would you say?
I'd be mad. I mean, if you're blocking traffic, that's not only an issue for me, that's an issue for safety. Like, like people behind me might not know you're there, and if they try and go around me, you're getting hit. Or if there's emergency services, that's an issue. Or, you know, even something so slight as disturbing the flow of traffic, especially in LA, could literally cause hours of backup for people. So, like, that's kind of a little bit messed up, I feel like.
Yeah, and this is a popular street, Kyle. I mean, I don't know if you can recognize from the video. It's right outside.
Yeah.
The CBS studios there, Beverly. I think was it up to Highland? If you keep driving, I don't know, somewhere in there. I can't remember my streets, but it's a main street there. I could be wrong. I don't know if this is just for the clip of these crosswalk musicals. They supposedly, when there's a red light, run out, do this, and then leave for the green light. I don't know if that's true or if that's just like what they wanted you to believe, because productions probably take longer than a red light to do.
For sure.
But yeah, Twitter, man, had a field day with this. There was a lot of fun tweets. There was one that kind of turned it into like a tips page for like the FBI, like how they did for the January 6th insurrectionists. If you spotted this man. The one that kind of brings up John's point, your husband just sliced the tip of his thumb off making dinner and won't stop bleeding. You're rushing to the emergency room and this happens. What would you do? It's like, yeah, like, what would you do?
Oh my God.
It's just.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe use James Corden's costume as a stopper, a gauze stopper on the thumb. The thrusting was
it was a lot. It was a lot.
I think he was hiding something.
Some cheese, man.
So, yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either, but man, I didn't want to talk about it, but man, we just had to. We had to.
It's like the worst flash mob of all time.
Yeah.
Because who wants to be?
You're stuck there. There's nothing you can do. If you were out and about walking around, you could just turn the other way. You're in your car. There's not like you're stuck there at the red light. Like if you drive forward, you're gonna get pulled over and arrested for killing James Corden. It's just like it's a lose-lose situation either way. But I don't know.
I guess you could open the door up, hit him as he goes in for a thrust.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, we're going from a rat to a spider. We're talking about a new trailer, another viral video. In order to talk about it, it's our new segment, Coming Attractions.
Here are some exciting coming attractions.
All right, we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. It's the third film in the Tom Holland Spider-Man series, and it comes to theaters December 17th. After Peter's identity was exposed, he asked Dr. Strange to restore his secret identity using some magic. And guess what? All hell breaks loose. Here we go. Again, my disclaimer, 3 superhero fans on the pod. This is our takes on the trailer.
We always only the trailer. That. Yes. We know nothing.
We know nothing about anything, but specifically superhero movies. I want to start off with Kyle. What do you think of Spider-Man No Way Home trailer?
I was digging it. I was interested. Couple of key questions though. Okay. So this whole thing is going to be set off because he's like, I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. It's like, I don't want to be Kyle Bridger sometimes, but get back out there. Let's do some work. Okay. Like, and then the whole thing in the trailer, you can obviously tell, Peter Parker's having some second thoughts and he's like, well, wait, I think and Dr. Strange is just like, get away.
Yeah.
I'm doing a curse. Just like, ugh. This just blows my mind. But I just think it's a lame excuse to start messing with entire universes.
Yeah.
But I still find it interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested. I like these Tom Holland movies. I like the Spider-Man movies. They're fun. And they get cameos in there and stuff like that. For me, I kind of bring up Peter Parker is public enemy number 1 in this trailer for killing Mysterio, even though that's not what really happened. But yeah, he saved half the universe in Endgame. It's like everyone hates him. Oh, you killed off this Jake Gyllenhaal guy. But it's like, I saved half the world. Like half of you guys didn't exist because I helped with Thanos. Everyone came back. Like you owe me. Like, nope. It's crazy because it's like, yeah, again, they killed this one guy, Mysterio. It's this big deal. Oh, he's a liar. He's a high school student. But man, like, did Tony Stark kind of get this stuff when they blew up half the city, for the first Avengers film and the second Avengers film and the whatever? Like, nope. It's all on this kid, this high school kid. We gotta really punish him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doctor Strange decides for some reason to say, I cared so much about kind of realities and timelines and stuff in all the other films, but for this, F it. Screw it up. Who cares? Multiverse, let's go. John, what did you think of the trailer?
It was interesting. I have to admit I haven't really followed this version of Spider-Man. This is the third one. Yep. I don't really know much of the history or how it connects to the Thanos stuff and all that. So I think a lot of it was lost on me. I did like some of the cameos that I kind of saw, but yeah, it seems interesting, but I'm a little too far removed from Spider-Man, I think, to really appreciate it,
And that's what I worry about a film like this, because this is now for the super fans, this thing, these multiverses and like this comic book lore and all this stuff. Because in this film, they're hinting at a lot of stuff that's going to happen. We get the Green Goblin little bomb in there. We get the Electro Sparks. We get Sandman. We get all these like things of like, wait, these villains from other Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire ones, the Andrew Garfield one. Of course, we see Doc Ock in this one, in the trailer, coming from Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire version. So all those villains are coming here. And that's what we kind of been alluding to it. We've mentioned it a few times that a lot of people are suggesting, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse anime thing, multiple Spider-Mans are going to be here. We're going to supposedly get Garfield and Maguire in this film with Tom Holland. That's what everyone suspects. They keep denying it. And all I'll have to say is I'm really going to kind of laugh when that's not true and the two Spideys are not in it. And it's just Tom fighting the villains from those films. And it's just like, okay, the villains came over into this world, and that's it. Because, like, who knows? I mean, yeah, maybe Maguire hasn't done anything in, like, the last few years. He's kind of led a private life. Really going to come back now for this? I mean, sure, if they brought a truckload of money to him, but, like, I don't know. Either way, I'm excited for it. I kind of like when different universes and things combine. But it's also interesting because I think, like, the original Spider-Man 3 with Maguire, one of the complaints was too many villains. Yeah, what is it? Like Sandman, the second Green Goblin, Venom. I don't even remember who was in it, but there was like a lot of people and villains in it. And there was too much. And it's like, oh, it's too much. This one, it's like every villain is in this film. Plus we got Doctor Strange here. We got Spider-Man. It's like a lot going on.
Too many cooks.
Yeah, maybe.
Too many cooks going on. I just have to say, I totally understand what you're saying about that. But I also want to say that Doc Ock is a great villain.
Yeah, he is.
I love that villain, man.
The Maguire films are really good. The William Dafoe Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Alfred Molina. They're really good films. So I'm excited that we're taking some of the good stuff from that. The Garfield ones, there is some issues, especially I feel like Spider-Man 2, which they're taking Electro from. But
but yeah, that was one of the impressions I had as soon as I watched it. I was like, man, I love Doc Ock. Like, I think he's just like an underrated villain. He's just so good.
Yeah, so I mean, I will say I'm gonna check this one out. I am excited for it, even though I was nitpicking here and there. Are you guys gonna maybe check out Spider-Man No Way Home at some point?
That would require me to go back and watch the other Tom Holland Spider-Man films, which I haven't done, which is crazy because I like Spider-Man, but they were just going to the well too often for me.
Yeah, I'm like 30 something movies behind now with all the Spider-Mans if those come back and all
the Disney Plus TV shows.
Yeah, and the whole Thanos.
There's a new Marvel coming this weekend.
Dectilogy, whatever it is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. I wouldn't say no if people are like, hey, we're gonna watch it, but I also probably am not gonna be like, yep, gotta go see it. So.
Yeah, this movie is going to be big, I think, depending on, obviously everything with COVID. It's coming out in December. But, man, the version of this trailer, people have been dying for this trailer. They're clamoring for anything from this movie. And a version got leaked out, and it had in-progress video effects. And I think that kind of pushed them to release this real one 24 hours later. And that one was still huge. The official trailer broke the 24-hour all-time record with 355.5 million global views. To put things in perspective, Endgame was the previous record holder with 289 million. So people are ready for this.
Yeah.
24 hours, over 350 million global views. People are ready.
What would you say is the most popular Marvel character? Just if you had to guess.
I mean, if I had to guess, you just have to say like Iron Man, just because like it's Robert Downey Jr. And I think that's, it started it all, and like the moment stuff. I think it's more like on Robert Downey Jr.'s shoulder than actually Iron Man's shoulder. But it's like, yeah, you have Iron Man, you have Captain America, because it's like those movies. There's so many movies of those characters. But I mean, Spider-Man is probably getting up there.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man's got to be in at least the top 3. Yeah. So it's no wonder it got so many views.
Okay, enough of that. We have stuff to talk about that we've already seen, and we have to go back in time to talk about them. So guys, send us back.
We're back, baby!
Gotta get back in time.
All right, first one up, The Chair series premiere brilliant mistake. It dropped on Netflix on August 20th. Sandra Oh is Professor Kim, the newly appointed chair of the English department at the fictional Pembroke University. Created by Amanda Peet and Annie Julia Wyman, we see Professor Kim as the first woman chosen to that position, deal with all the issues that the struggling department faces. All right, let's start off with John. What did you think of The Chair?
I thought it was all right. I think this is one of those shows where watching a half hour and kind of judging it doesn't really serve it very well. I think to give it a good thing, a good rating, or a good judgment, I probably would want to watch another episode or two to see how it develops. I mean, this episode is very much developing who plays what role. You know, how the new chairwoman interacts with her professors, how she interacts with her child at home, you know, and the interpersonal relationship between her and that one professor, stuff like that. And so I don't think we really got more than just what their interactions are, and the base sketch of what her issues are going to be. Obviously, you have that one male professor who's not really showing up to class and kind of is a little bit of a, not a slacker, but a slacker, and the her dealing with having to downsize her department and stuff. So I don't want to say no to it, but I also don't think I've seen enough to be like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I completely get you. It's a short show. It's like a 30-minute show, and the series is a short commitment. It's 6 episodes. You could probably watch this in 3 hours. And it's, if anything, probably back in the day, a few years ago, it probably would have been a movie. And they elongated to a series and then chopped it up. Yeah, I kind of with you on it. I'm definitely intrigued with more. I'll definitely, I think, watch more between the cast involved: Sandra Oh, Jay Duplass, David Morris, Holland Taylor. I'm a fan of Bob Balaban. I'm a fan of him. So there's a lot of stuff in here that gets me intrigued. There's a little bit of humor. So I'm intrigued and I'm willing to watch more. But Kyle, where are you going on this?
So I actually watched 2 episodes just to get more of a basic, you know, a feel or a vibe for the show, because I didn't want to just base it off one. So, but I will say that I think this show is going to rest on the characters, and if you like them, then you're going to be in. I also think they set up the world, the world that they're in. I think it's set up perfectly. You know, all the players involved, they get you in. And I do find Sandra Oh charming. I find the other professor charming as well. I think they do well in those roles. As far as the show, though, it just doesn't interest me. So they do a great job with these things, but I just don't find the material interesting. I don't really care about these faculty. You know, I just don't really. It's like, nah, okay.
And it's interesting, I think, for me, because like I wrote that in my notes too. It's like there's a lot of very specific higher education problems. Like, you know, college professors gonna love this. Oh, Holland Taylor's office has moved across campus into this thing, and the struggling English department with the two. It's okay, and it's interesting because, you know, let's say, you know, you're in the teaching universe, and even for you as a teacher, you're like, doesn't interest me. So I don't know if that's good. But yeah, we've kind of skated around Jay Duplass's character, Bill. I want to talk a little bit about him. His life is a mess. He lost his wife. His daughter is going off to college. He's getting drunk at the airport, driving his golf cart around to find his own car.
Yep.
And he seems like to be like the favorite professor at the school. Probably before all this, he probably was very engaging, you know, young, like hip. But we get a little bit of kind of foreboding at the end here that there's some trouble ahead for his character. Not for showing his naked pregnant wife on the screen. That's not for that. But instead, he kind of does this kind of, you know, out of context kind of salute, the Nazi salute that the students record. And it looks like Cher. And obviously, I think this is going to set up where the series is going. I've heard, you know, kind of deals with kind of like the cancel culture climate that we're dealing with now. but the thing I want to kind of bring up first is, was it just me, or did the tone kind of seem a little off in this ending moment in the first episode? Because I felt like he was kind of giving this like bad lecture. Like that's what the show wanted to make it seem like, oh, it's not going well. But then there's kind of like the song choice kind of pulled me out, because it felt like it was like a moving, inspirational, like, here we go song. And I'm like, okay.
I read it a little different than that.
And then I read it differently too.
It's interesting because okay. And then there was like this kind of like one, and then we keep pulling back out, and then we see the hand salute on the phone, and you're like, oh crap, that's not good. So like it was like a way. I feel like that some of the song choices, they're cool songs, and I like the songs, but I felt like they didn't connect in those moments where they were. But maybe it was just me. Maybe it was the people I watched it with. I don't know. It's different for you guys, but yeah. What do you,
John? How did you interpret that scene?
I kind of read it like, yeah, he did that, but what he was saying afterward, he kind of hit a stride and was really kind of putting some effort into it, and you could see that he was kind of like getting back into the groove and making a clear point, and that's why the music was more upbeat. But obviously the media sharing of what he did is gonna pull that down. But I kind of feel like they're setting him up to start rebuilding himself, only to start getting knocked down later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I think like we're kind of saying like similar things where, for me, I thought like the moment was like, okay, the speech isn't going well, but then like, the song's going in. So that's what I thought too. Oh, he's hitting his stride. He's going well. And then I saw the thing on the phone and I'm like, well, wait a minute. No, I guess it's not going to be good. Like, I know like, it's kind of like, it's good for him right now, but in the show world, like, I guess like where the music is connecting is the music for him, for the audience, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's where the disconnect was. Like, is the soundtrack for him or the show? So that's where I think the issue was for me. Like, who's the song for?
Yeah, I think the song connects to what we're supposed to be feeling about him, and then the thing on the phone is that cliffhanger to the next episode where you're like, oh, this may be not going so well, like the lecture that he's now giving, like the music that was chosen for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I definitely see. I just was saying, like, I feel like some of the other song choices in the show where it's like, oh, that's just a cool song, like, but does it connect with what we're seeing on screen?
I think
in that moment, but
I think they chose the songs took me out of it because it's like my favorite band. They took like 2 or 3 songs from them, and I was like, okay, well now, like, it's I don't know, it just took me out of it because I don't normally hear them on this kind of stuff, so it's just awkward. Also, Amanda Peet, she's married to one of the Game of Thrones dudes, right?
She is.
Tell me this guy does not look like the guy. Her
Jay Duplass. I don't know exactly which Benioff or Weiss that Amanda Peet's married to.
I think she's married to David Benioff.
Okay.
Or
I'm doing
dating.
a quick look. David Benioff, married 2006, and they are executive producers on the show. And I think we talked about way back when, like the giant mega deal that they signed. This is, I believe, like the first show of that Netflix deal. They're the executive producers on this.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm glad it's getting decent ratings for them. They need a win. All the goodwill.
Yeah.
But tell me that guy does not look like the other guy. A little bit.
I guess a little bit, especially if he dyed his beard a little bit.
Yeah.
More black hair maybe. But oh, there we go. A little transform that John's doing live.
Tell me, John, do you agree or no? I think David Benioff is a better looking dude, but this dude, they look
really. I think Jay Duplass is a better looking dude than. Agree to disagree, I guess. But
oh man,
So one of the things I want to bring up, it's another nitpick I have. Cassandra Oh is dealing with some issues at the school with the department as the new chair. There's 2 American Lit classes at the same exact time. One is about sex, very popular with the college kids. Another one, I don't even know what the title is. It sounded boring. And the idea is like, we're gonna combine them. We're gonna put them at the same time. We're gonna get and I don't know what this solves, because at the end of the day, instead of having 2 classes, one of which is popular, now you have one class still popular. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But then you're still paying for 2 teachers.
Yeah.
Like, well, how is this helping? Like, they're still teaching. If anything, they're teaching less now. They're doing less work, and they're getting this. So that's where my issue was, where it's like, how is this solving anything?
Yeah, it was honestly just like because I thought the same thing too. It's just a storyline to create drama between those 2 characters, because that doesn't make sense at all.
And that's where it's like, and that's where I felt like it was like, okay, this is a little old with the clash of the old versus new style of teaching. Is very cliche, and it's like, you know, I like Bob Balaban, but dude, like, clearly whatever you're doing is not working. Like, you gotta be open to new stuff here. But I just felt like, oh, we've seen this before. Like, is this gonna add anything? And one thing I was also unsure about, like, I kind of like more of the academic stuff, which I think Kyle is less into, but like the I don't know if I'm on board with the Sandra Oh, like, home life and the daughter and all that stuff. I'm not sure if I need that as well as with everything else going on at the school. But you saw more than I did, so I don't know if it pays off more in the second episode.
Yeah, there's a little bit more that kind of sets up this kind of weird relationship between Duplass and Sandra Oh's character that kind of links up there. But there are some moments that just feel a little tired, and like we've seen this done 100 times before. But you know, it's still okay. I think it's still decent. It's well done.
Okay, well, all right. I think I'm gonna watch it. You know, I might kind of put it on the back burner, but I'm gonna keep watching. I think, especially if there's only 6. Are you gonna watch more after the 2, Kyle?
I probably won't, unless there should be a reason to.
Okay.
So if I hear some better things, or like if you say, yeah, continue, then I'll probably keep going.
And John, what about you?
I might take a look at another one just to give it a fair shakedown, but I'm I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on, like, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the short time commitment. Like, okay, I could finish this whole series and get a full ABC story. Boom, done. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
All right. One more show to talk about. The Other Two, season 2 premiere. We have 2 episodes actually that dropped on August 26th. Chase goes to college and Pat connects with her fans. An inspiring actor and a former professional dancer try to find their place in the world while wrestling with their feelings about their younger brother's sudden rise to internet fame. Plus, now in season 2, their mom, played by Molly Shannon, has become a popular talk show host. All right. I'm a big fan of this show. I really loved season 1. It's been a while. We discussed the premiere January 2019, episode 232. It was a Comedy Central series back then. It's now an HBO Max series. Kyle, any thoughts on season 1 before we get to season 2? Anything you want to bring up about season 1?
I watched it so long ago, but I just remember really, really liking the show and binging it so fast.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, it's just the characters are ridiculous. Chase Stream, the Streeter character to me made that first season because Ken Marino is just such a maniac. But you know, the main characters have a balance of comedy and also, you know, playing straight men off each other. I think it's just a good dynamic. I think it's really well done.
The ensemble is so good. I actually did a season 1 rewatch just to get ready for season 2. And some of the jokes, obviously, a lot has changed in the world of pop culture in 2 years, but a lot of it still really hits. And I think it does such a great job kind of skewering entertainment and pop culture, especially in this world we're dealing with now. And the cast, man, I really love the ensemble on this show. Ken Marino, Molly Shannon, Wanda Sykes, Richard Kind. All of these guest actors that they bring in playing the manager or the agent, or just I'm kind of bummed because it looks like in this season 2, Carrie's agent has been replaced. No more Richard Kind. At least looks like, I don't know, they got a different guy in there. I'm hoping he can still make an appearance. But as you bring up Streeter, played by Ken Marino, everything he does, he keeps knocking it out of the park. It's just, Yeah, just seeing him like in the sea of women at Pat's talk show, it just cracked me up. The visual of that, it just works. Like,
yeah, I'm just nervous, like, because we haven't seen much of him. It's just gonna be like in and out, and I wish there was more of him in there. So I'm just nervous that they're gonna limit his time or whatever with the situation that they have going.
Yeah. I definitely think this season is going to be a lot more Molly Shannon. Obviously, in the season 2 poster, it's her giant face for the poster. And I actually thought season 2 would actually maybe move past Chase. He went off to college at the end of season 1, and in real life, he's 2 years older because it took him 2 years to film this, and he's a young kid. He's going to get old. He's going to age out of this. But I thought maybe we would move past him, and the mom would be the famous one in the family, and they're still the other two in all this. But it looks like he's still going to be involved. At least have these like kind of on his own like cameos. These like at least in the first 2 episodes, he's not really interacting too much with the cast. He's kind of on like the phone on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah,
doing videos. That's about it. But yeah, anything with these first 2 episodes, Kyle, that you want to talk about?
That dude, it skewers pop culture like so well. I mean, it's so well done. Some of the lines are so quick that you're like, wait, what just happened? There was like multiple jokes in there.
You have to remind it. There's one line I definitely have told you from season 1. I cannot repeat it on the podcast because it's very vulgar, but it was just there was like 3 levels to it. It just like laugh, and it was true. Like I could see it actually happening in entertainment. And that's the thing I like, where it's like they're skewering pop culture and entertainment, and it's written by people that know pop culture and entertainment. Because a lot of times these shows, it's like, some older guy that thinks he knows what the kids are into writing this. And it's like, no, I think they're millennial writers writing about millennial culture, it's like, okay, it works. And the stuff about like when they're at the talk show and with the fans, and there's all the fanatic fans like in the audience thinking that they have this deep connection with Pat. This stuff was way too real. I've worked in talk shows.
Oh my God.
Some of those lines, I'm like, were they listening in? Because like they're exactly word for word, like what the audience would say about the talk show host I would work for. And it's just like, too real.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think of that. That's hilarious. I just love how the lines just keep getting longer and longer, though, that she's supposed to say. And then like these long sayings.
As I always say, this and then. It's just like
the second episode was wild.
A lot going on in that.
My favorite, I just have to say some of my favorite things when Pat gives them the check and the memo is for being gay. That's the memo of the check. And then the episode 2 ending where they're like, who's gonna care about Chase Dreams with the blonde hair? And then it cuts to this week in gay news. It's just like, oh my God.
So Carrie, he's getting some career movement. He's hosting some different shows now, including Age, Net Worth, and Feet. He's interviewing celebrities on those things, and he's also the host of Gay News. And that buildup is like, is this in episode 2? Oh, is a new Chase song coming out? No. He's blonde. And it's like, well, who's going to care about that? And immediately the cut, boom, and it's him reporting it. And that kind of, it's quick comedy, and I think it works really well. Well, there's one other line that I really liked, and it was all on his delivery of the actor who plays Carrie, because Pat is now telling all these stories on the talk show about, them as kids growing up. And somehow it got mentioned that like this dog was, I have to clean this up a little bit, trying to hump him so much as a kid. And like Carrie's like, how did that even come up? And it's like, oh, they're cooking, pasta primavera or something. It's like, what? It's just like the way he said, how did that even come up? Like, but I'm definitely going to be watching more. It's such a fun show, easy show to watch. I'm going to be really bummed if, another 2 years go by.
They can't do that. I mean, now that they found a home, I think they could just pump them out, honestly.
Yeah. So definitely give it
a shot. And I have to say, Molly Shannon does a great job playing that.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess where it was going, I think she's going to have some kind of meltdown with a fan, and it's going to lead to like some Twitter drama that they're going to have to deal with. And her daughter as a manager is going to have to deal with.
I mean, there's definitely something like at the end of season or the episode 2, when that giant line really kind of screwed up the production schedule and her day and her sleep and all that stuff, dealing with all these fans. Like, obviously she wants to be of the people, but it's like, you can't do that all day, every day, meeting every fan face to face. So it's going to be like, there's going to be this clash, I think. And I think at some point the mother-daughter kind of relationship is definitely going to be tested this season, especially as her manager.
And I don't think the couple, Carrie and they don't seem right for each other. I don't know. Something seems off there, and you can just tell.
Speaking of couples,
every interaction.
I want more Lance. I want Lance back.
Which one is
Lance? Is the sister's boyfriend there? That
that guy.
He had the shoes he was making. This time he has the see-through rain jacket.
Yeah,
he just seems like a nice soul. All right. Well, we're watching more Other Two as it comes out on HBO Max. Sure. One last thing we're going to squeeze in tonight, because next week we're going to be busy with Emmy predictions. We're going to talk about the summer movie auction. So in episode 343, back in May, instead of doing a box office draft, we decided to do a summer movie auction. We kind of auctioned off the top 3 films that we are looking forward to the most, our most anticipated, just the ones we wanted on our team. Nothing really, no real contest with this, but I just want to recap the films and maybe talk about what worked, what didn't work. And now that we've seen these films, or at least you were supposed to see them if you drafted them, but yeah. Well, let's recap the teams here. So we got Kyle. He had Black Widow, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Candyman. He paid $20 for Black Widow, $180 for Space Jam, and $10 for Candyman. Meanwhile, I had Old, A Quiet Place 2, and Luca. I got Old for $10, $110 for Luca, and then the $840 for A Quiet Place 2. And then John, he made off pretty good. He only spent $30, $10 each on Free Guy, Cruella, and The Tomorrow War. I think 2 of those films you were saddled with, John. I don't know if you wanted those, but that's how the draft worked. I'm sorry. But any thoughts on any of those films? I know, Kyle, you at least saw Space Jam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I did see Space Jam.
I don't know if John saw anything. I saw 2 of my films, so maybe I win for seeing at least 2. But,
I saw one of your films too.
Okay. What thoughts on the summer movies that we drafted, Kyle?
Space Jam. Ooh, I wouldn't watch again. It was fine for what it was in the moment that it was, and that is what I will say about that. Glad I didn't pay money for it.
You paid $180, but
yeah. Monopoly bucks. Yeah. And then I saw Luca, which I did enjoy. I didn't think it was like the best Pixar movie ever, but they're always pretty solid. And it does feel very like the vibe feels very similar to Call Me by Your Name. And I enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember. John, can you go back to the other image of all of us? Sorry.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, I haven't seen anything else, unfortunately. I want to see Old. I want to see Quiet Place 2. And
Quiet Place 2 is on Paramount Plus. You can watch Evil in that one night.
And I do want to see Candyman too. And Free Guy. John, I hear Free Guy's great.
I did too.
John, were you able to see any? I know you probably didn't see any of your movies. Did you see any of the movies of the 9 or any other summer movies?
I did see Space Jam. I think that's all I've seen so far. Still working on the rest.
It's tough with like the theater situation.
I not ready.
Delta really.
Yeah,
kind of complicated.
I honestly, I would have gone to see a few more, but it's just I'm still hesitant to do that with the situation.
Work has even vaccinated people wearing masks right now, so I kind of feel if that's the case, maybe I shouldn't be going to the movies, you know? So
sitting in a windowless room for 2.5 hours, maybe
with people eating popcorn.
I want to bring up though, we didn't do box office, but top 5, we got some films in there. 1 to 5, Black Widow, F9, A Quiet Place 2, Jungle Cruise, and Cruella. That's our top 5 of the summer domestically. So we all got at least a film in there on the list. I want to do something different though. Instead of doing box office, obviously everything's in flux. Some of our films didn't even go to theaters; they were on streaming only. These were our anticipated films. These are ones we were looking forward to. And we got reviews now. Why don't we look at Rotten Tomatoes? Rotten Tomato scores. Let's see. Critically, if we're looking at just at the critic scores.
Oh my God. Well, I know with Space Jam, Jesus.
Critically, I had the best average for 3 films. 77.3% was my critic score for the 3 films. Old dropped me from the 90s. I was in the 90s, but then Old dropped me down. Then John had 69.3% before Kyle's 63.6%. Kyle had a rough go with 26% for Space Jam.
Yeah, but I know what the people want. Look at the audience score.
Yeah, we'll get there. But the lowest of all the films critically was Space Jam: A New Legacy that we picked. And you do bring up, Kyle, that you got what the audience wants. Kind of. You got second because John knew the audience this time around. He's the winner with 89.6%. That was thanks to Free Guy's 95% and the highest of all 9 films audience-wise, Cruella, 97%.
That is wild.
And I did it on the best budget too.
Yeah, you did. Kyle was second with 81.3%, and I got 77.3% again. So mine was the exact same critic and audience-wise. I'm consistent. I'll say that. But
you haven't seen Old yet, have you, Dave?
I have not.
I do want to check it out.
Yeah. That seems like that's like a divisive one. It's like, it's 50%. People like it, people don't like it. But yeah, it's like it's weird to see like Space Jam where it's like 26% critics wise and then like 80% audience wise. And you're like, okay. But but it's a little fun, obviously this doesn't mean anything, but it was just fun to kind of look at critics.
It was cool to do. Scores. And surprisingly, John would have done okay because I mean he had Cruella and then Free Guy was next. So box office wise. Quiet Place did well. Obviously Black Widow did well. We always do like Labor Day as our cutoff. So it's like, okay, is Candyman, like that would have been a tough because it just came out, but it seems to be doing well. Nice.
Yeah. All right, that is it for our supersized show tonight. We did a lot, we covered a lot, but that is it. Next week, we got some predictions to do. Emmy predictions coming up in like 2 weeks. We got the Emmys on CBS. We're going to predict all the winners for that big ceremony. And then September is nuts. Impeachment, American Crime Story, Why the Last Man, Scenes from a Marriage, The Premise, Foundation, the series finale, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. A lot to talk about in September. Everything's coming back. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com, Twitch. That's where we're live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Twitch.tv/dualredundancy. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dual Redundancy. I got to thank both you guys. Very special thank you tonight because, as I mentioned before, 10 years of this. Kyle joined us along the way. He was the director on the old ICTV show. And John, you've been with us from the start, episode 1, behind the scenes, now in front of the scenes. I couldn't do it with both of you guys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
You couldn't do it with both of us?
I heard
that
couldn't
do it without you.
Okay,
I heard what
more
Kyle
like
said
it. I
too.
just needed that on the record.
On the record.
I could do it without one of you, and I'll just leave it at that. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.